Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into this video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like and comment on my video and consider subscribing to my channel. Now remember the Vigilant as a shout out towards the Genesis guys, and I hope that I do get the reference now, so I hope that you do not have that problem again in the future. So let's go on to the importance of today's video. I'm actually making this guide for new players who jump into the game purely because this is the perfect time for us to actually have it out there. There's going to be a lot of players who will jump into the game now at the 3 month mark. Now, a 3 month mark starter player has a way different approach to getting to the high level content. And I'm going to explain it in several ways. Number one, getting up to the level where we are right now requires them to do activities that we wouldn't have done when we started the game. Everybody was basically the most powerful as they were, and everything was at a level where we could play against it. Now the change has come where levels are different, enemies are different, and the amount of gear available has shifted up drastically. So, what does a beginner player do when he joins the game? Now, considering that you get two types of players, the free to play player is going to try and grind ISK as fast as possible and join a big corporation in the nullsec to try and get them to help him out with these basics to get up a few levels. Now, what about the higher end player, the more difficult to handle players? What are you going to do about them? Well, there's nothing you can do as a new player. They are much more advanced in terms of research, and you're going to have to start building yourself up until you reach the right level. So, the next player who's going to join the game is the pay to win player. Now, I know that my videos sometimes can get a little bit incoherent. That's because my thoughts aren't flowing coherently based on my speech notes, and it happens every once in a while. So, going on to the next one is going to be the pay to win player. For them, what they're going to do is buy the package with the neuro chips, the neuro skill chips basically. They give you plus 15% gain on SP instantly, and that is a permanent gain to your gameplay. The next thing you are going to do with that entire package is have an active Omega Duo. This boosts up your entire gain to just over 75 SP a minute. Now I'm just going to open up my list. As you can see, I'm at 70 SP a minute, while you will be at 75. That is going to give you a chance to catch up to a lot of players who didn't understand that you need to have the max level SP gain. Now, this is the way for you to catch up with the game if you're planning on doing it at this level. The next thing you have to do is consider where your skills are going. Unlike everybody else who started this game and had to respec skills, you don't have to go through this heavy method. You actually can save up your SP and focus it where you need it in the start of the game till you reach the level where you're going to play. It requires an amount of patience on your part because you're going to be getting a hold of a lot of ships that you're not going to be able to use 100%. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about what ships for you to gain and what ships for you to use in the start. The first thing you are going to try and do is mine. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, mining sounds slow. Well, yes, it is, and it is the basics for you to start up in the game. And mining may not be the most profitable, but considering where you're starting and how long it's going to take you to get to the point where you can get properly into PvE now, I know that I'm saying properly into PvE because level 1, 2, 3, and 4 anomalies are really simple to do. However, the big catch is they are worthless in terms of reward. You're not going to make anything near what you could do mining, and that's even with no skills. So you are going to try and join a nullsec corp and use your free mining ship, which is one of the first few things that you get, to actually mine up some ores. Now, besides this, you might get lucky in the sense that some players might be willing to help you through your gameplay. And that means they'll basically take you on what they call ratting. Now, when they take you ratting, what they're going to do is they're going to place you outside of the combat. It's something like 250 meters or 250 kilometers being the radius that it will be showing in the game. They're going to set you at that location and they're going to make you sit there while you're gaining what's called bounty. Now the bounty increases your ISK, and I'm about to open my wallet. Now my wallet is filled with bounty all over the place. As you can see, I made 8 million in bounty rewards at 1:30 today, and I made 4 million a few minutes earlier than that. So these are the things that are going to fuel up how much you're going to have by the end of day 2 and 3 in gameplay. So once you have enough ISK, the next step for you to go through is, sorry about this, I'm getting a little bit of a confusion. The next part for you to do is to actually figure out what ships you're going to want in the mid to end game. Now, in order to know what ship you're going to have, you don't have to know it from day one. Mining these materials is something you're going to start off from day one. You're going to learn planetology. It's inside your skills list. It's the last on the list. And you're going to learn one or two of the other skills for your mining for the start of the game. Now, planetology is going to give you your materials that you're going to need for development of whichever ship you're going to go for. If you're more patient and you're willing to wait 2 months, you can go straight for a battle cruiser as your first ship, your first real expensive heavy duty ship. Or if you want to play more on the light end of things with a faction ship, you can go straight into cruiser at T5 and start building up your arsenal of ships. Now, which ships to use and what to use at the time, I cannot tell you exactly right now, because by the time you reach this stage, it's going to be 1 month from now. So if you start today on the 3rd month of the game, exactly, that's 90 days into Eve Echoes, you will only be at month 4 when you are reaching cruisers. And this is the exact thing that you need to understand within the cruiser aspect. You need to know whether you're going for a faction cruiser, because that is the end game cruiser for you to have. You need to know whether you're going for a regular cruiser, and you need to know how much of ISK you can make, store, and move around to get to your goal. Now I'm just going to open a quick tab. It's called the industry tab, and I'm actually going to go through building one of the faction cruisers. Now it's just one of them. It's a very common cruiser at the moment. It might not stay this way in the future, but let's go have a look. Okay, and one of the most powerful cruisers is the Phantasm. It is fantastic for PvP, and it is also fantastic for PvE. Its blueprint is about 150 million ISK, and let's look at the planetary resources required. Now, if I had to guess on the price of all of these materials put together, I'd say easily it's about 100 to 250 million worth of ISK. Now, that's just on a rough estimate. It could be way less, it could be way more. And there is a way to reduce your price on it. This efficiency tab, if you research completely your manufacturing, these prices come down and the requirement comes down drastically. And you will only have to pay 200 million ISK to actually produce it. It will take 24 hours for it to actually be produced. Now let's move down, look at everything in here. It's a simple list. And next thing which you have to think about is the minerals. Now, as I said, you're going to be mining for almost 1 month. In 1 month, you can mine more than triple this figure in titanium. So that is where you're going to make most of your ISK. And when I say triple that figure, I mean 210 million. So you're going to have 140 million 140 million titanium to sell. If you sell it at the maximum market value, that is times 3, that is 420 million ISK just off the one material that you've mined. And there's all the other minerals that you're going to collect and stock up on so that you can produce the ship really efficiently. Now, it does take a few days worth of mining to actually gain all these materials, and that is from the higher level mining abilities. If you use the basic level mining, it's going to take you a bit of time. It might take you something like 2 weeks to get up to double your figures, and then as you start getting better with your skills, it's going to get you to 3 and 4 times. And all you've actually got to do is reduce this mining efficiency. Learning this to its maximum will reduce it by 30%. And when it goes down to 120% material efficiency, it means that all your costs come down. and as they come down, eventually you can have it down to 2/3 of the original price if you master all of your engineering. Now, once that is done, you are now able to produce ships really cheap. However, this ISK value for the cost of production will remain the same. So once you've purchased everything and you have everything acquired wherever it is that your corp is, you produce the ship, and at level 5, when you jump out, you are now part of the game with the ship. Now, remember, I'm going to tell you this here, keep your skills limited. When I say keeping your skills limited, I mean don't push too hard into the mining, don't push too hard into the manufacturing. If you are going to manufacture and it's going to be your primary source of income, then yes, go straight into manufacturing, stay in the industry. If you want to be a PvE player or PvP player, go for these ships. They're going to be your first chance in, and save up your skill points to push it into battle cruiser skills. Sorry, not battle cruiser, to cruiser skills. That is at level 5. And then you'll go through level 6 and get more advanced cruiser skills, and you'll keep climbing up till you master your cruiser. Now, once you have reached that level, you are now capable of joining everybody else in gameplay. So once you are capable of joining everybody else in gameplay, what this is going to do for you is allow you to make ISK even faster. Now, that same ship that took you maybe about about a week and a half to actually mine up everything and have everything ready for, you now can double that time. You can have a fully fledged fleet in a matter of days. And when I say a fleet, I mean you can have the retriever that I'm running. You could have battle cruisers pre-purchased before you even reach the level of the battle cruisers. You just have to go into the right activities, get the right gear, sell it on the right markets, and within a matter of months, you will be at the biggest level you can be in the game. So this is basically what I'm talking about right now. As you can see, I am farming up materials. That is because I am also purchasing up multiple items, and I am building up a massive amount of items. Now, if I decided to sell that items that I was actually building up a stockpile for, my stockpile would be worth something like 120 million in terms of resources. That's because it's costing me more than it would an efficient player. And if I had a better efficiency, it most probably would cost me somewhere near 60 million. And with the blueprints and all the materials purchased, it's only going to cost me about 80 million to produce the modules which I needed to produce my station. Now, my stations are going to be used purely for fun. They most probably won't even last a few hours once they deployed. And once they are deployed, I'm expecting for a player to come by and destroy those stations. And I know that it doesn't sound like a very nice thing to say, but that is the way that the game goes. You have to always be willing to lose whatever you make. Now, even for the player who's made double and triple what they are intending to spend, there's still other options for you moving forward. Once you have set up your first ship, you can do what's called a backup. That means building enough resources to produce a second ship. And once you have taken out that first ship and you have it purchased, and all of your excess materials and resources are all on the market sold, and you have your couple 100 million, you've fitted out your ship to the basics, you can fit it up even further to the advanced level, and then you'll be able to play more advanced activities solo. So I hope that this has explained just the basics of starting up. There will be more of these for the late game right now. However, most of it will be focused to the regular content. So thank you all for watching. Have a good day.